influential, or that the music itself had an anointing and it broke through borders that a pastor would have longed to be able to have an audience listen, in that capacity. So the fight kind of came more from the lack of clarity of people not believing that we were believers or sold out for Jesus, So I had to monitor that for a while, because at the end of the day, I mean, church is my home, and the people of God are the people that continue to support, whether you like it or not. So I stood with the music, and I listened to the critiques and stuff, and people say, well, the music has Jah in it, and every time you say Jah, why is it Jah? I said, but I say Jesus as well, So I said, you know what? Moving forward, I'm gonna remove Jah from every song. You understand? And hopefully that might not be the reason why it crossed over before. So then I came up with songs like Rock of My Life, songs like Let Me Be the One, songs like Two Man Army. No Jah, just Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. If I could have sung a song with just Jesus in the chorus, Jesus, 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 I would have done it, you understand? And then, yeah, man, yeah. So, yeah, so we switched the music up to sound basically a bit more church friendly, you understand? And then the music still go over in the secular market. They still play the Two Man Army, they still play the Light Them Up, they still play Outside, they still play. It's just like, it wasn't because of a word Jah, which is used to describe God. However, you understand, people say, okay, that was used once in the Bible. Okay, no problem. We take Jah out of the music and we still write from the heart. The truth is, when you write from the heart and you write from inspiration by the Holy Spirit, I believe that whatever he wants to do with a song, he's just going to do it. Once you are writing from a real place, once you're writing from the place, that good place with God, because I heard Ryan Mark told me one time, he said, every time I listen to your album, Stand on Me Counted, I could tell that you were in a good place with God. You understand? And I want people to feel that. I want people to feel the relationship. I want them, when they listen to the music, it must cause their own faith and their own walk with God to be strengthened in some sort of way. I don't just want to sing this song because the hook is nice or the song is catchy, but I want it that when this song plays, it kind of leaves a lasting impact. You understand? So that's how I do music, because well, I think to start it off, I think loss is what inspired me, grief and hurt and frustration and confusion, because I was trying to write music that I could just listen to and drown out the noise. Because in that era, it was just a lot of dancehall and just, it just run the route now, you understand? I talk about that old school dancehall and stuff, and I couldn't find the right intake of music that spoke to my situation. So I started to write from a personal place. And, I wrote this song. I said, I'll never let go because he's the driver of my vehicle. So while I'm in the car or while I'm on the street walking, I'm just listening and I'm saying he's the driver of my vehicle, because I needed to personally concentrate on the God that I serve. You understand? So that song kind of ministered to me first. And then after me recording it and just putting it out, then it started to impact the lives of other people. But that wasn't the original intent. It was just something that I wanted to write so that I could just focus. So I've always wrote from a place of vulnerability with God, just a place of, listen, he's my only person. I'll wait on you. And other songs say, hold me closely. It was just those type of songs that was just a place of, Lord, I just need you. I can't make another day without you. And if you're not wrong, I would prefer that my life ended. That is the whole idea and heart behind writing the music. And then as the music evolved, as my relationship evolved with God, the music evolved. And, I was able to now touch on different societal issues, touch on love, touch on pain, touch on hurt, touch on joy, touch on praise, touch on worship. So it's just like a whole a whole gathering together of the meals and make sure that the plate is fit for the eater. You understand? That sound like Egyptian? Yeah, you was. Right. Yeah, they are. Yeah, about 4 or 5. Yeah. Right. See again? Yeah, no problem. All right, cool. All right, yeah, you go ahead. Yeah, man. About 14 or 15, yeah. Well, I think you had to be tight to the times, you know. I went to Cayman Islands, I think it was 3 years ago, and the pastor was like, he preached a sermon and he was like, you gotta be anchored in the word, but tied to the times. So you can't be coming out with a 1956 mentality in the year 1999. No, you ain't gonna make it, man. You understand? And as funny as he said it, you know, that sermon kind of stuck with me. And it's like, I'm saying, oh, I need to be aware, I need to be current, I need to be relevant, because I think God's use of me is going to be heavily dependent or based or influenced by me allowing myself to be relevant, you know, and allowing myself to be available. So I think he's looking at availability and relevance. So if it is you're not taking the time to use wisdom to be able to figure out how you could reach a particular group of people that he wants to send you to, then the problem starts to arise, you know. So now we live in an age in Trinidad where just dancehall, guns, violence. So you got to have music that could speak to those young people, because they're looking to have some sort of inspiration. And if it is that they find it on the street, then that's where they're gonna go. But if they can find from positive or from somebody else in the church, then that's a blessing, because it will cause them to make changes to their life and chart their way forward in a more positive way, you know. So I think it's about relevance. Right. Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
You know what I mean? How can we involve our especially you can speak to the younger artists, what can you do to involve the younger artists? Just putting out music, but it's not writing properly, it is not produced properly. The mannerism the way they bring themselves is not representing the kingdom. You know what I mean? We know that popularity is one thing that grow. You know, it's God given popularity, but if you don't care for you can as long as you go after certain, you know, young girls respond to us and don't see they respond. So how do you this is something that will speak to a young artist right now? How do you what do you have to say in terms of that?
Um, I believe that God has given each and every single one of us a particular vision and a particular course, a particular a purpose. And if it is that we could ask God for the right wisdom and it's not to be able to manage the gift, because nothing here really belongs to us. What everything belongs to God. You understand? So the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. That means He allows us to be here, and then He gives us the responsibility to manage. So what we do is manage our resources, we manage our talent, we manage our ability, we manage our skills, we manage our gift set, we manage our money, we manage our relationships. So if it is that we could have better management of everything that God has made available to us, then I think that that is a major key in the success and the direction that we take. If it is that we are hungry to be successful in what the world or everybody else determines success, then we would have missed the mark. What I think we should be is hungry to represent God in the most accurate way. And I realized that there was no marketing plan for Never Let Go. I didn't go to a marketing school. I didn't go to any vocal training. I didn't do anything. I just wrote from my heart, and that was a song that the Lord gave me, and I recorded it and I put it out, and people chased after it because it was something that God had put in my spirit, and I didn't let it die. You understand? A lot of people go to the grave, and who knows that they may not have been able to accomplish their purpose or their dreams, all the books that they should have written, or all the songs they should have sung, all the poems they should have wrote, all the sermons they should have preached. They didn't take it into consideration, or they didn't put full force behind it. So I think if you're a young artist, or if you're or just somebody in general who's a believer and God has put some kind of dream or vision or purpose inside of you, you have got to chase that thing with everything. The word says, seek Him with all of your heart, and it's after seeking Him with all of your heart, then you'll find Him. It didn't say seek Him halfway. So if it is that we could understand what it takes to seek God, then we would understand what it takes to accomplish the purpose that He's given to us. Because we'd only have a piece of success here and there if it is we get comfortable at every level that we reach. You understand? It's about a different type of hunger. I ain't talking about you setting aside time for God every single day. Just like when the word said in Daniel in chapter 6, it said Daniel, he went to his, you there? Yeah, you there? Yeah, man. The word says Daniel, he went to his upstairs room 3 times a day to pray that he normally would. You understand? So that means Daniel had a specific set time to reach out to God every single day. You hear me? Check, check, check. 1, 2, 1. Yo, yo, yo. Come on. Yeah, man.
Wasn't Daniel, I cut off from Daniel.
Oh, yeah, man. So I was saying, so Daniel had a time to pray. You understand? The word said he went to his upstairs room 3 times a day that he normally would, which means he had a specific set time every single day. You understand? He had a time and he also had a place to meet with God. You understand? So a lot of people sometimes they don't even have a particular place that they devote to God. The prayer rooms or the prayer closets or the living room or the bedroom or the kitchen, somewhere that you could say, I meet with God here. You understand? So it's more than just music that causes us to reach the levels that people aspire to. You understand? I believe that it is significantly important with how our relationship with God is. And if it is that we could dig deeper with God, and He is concerned with the things that concern us. So if He's leading us in a particular direction, He wouldn't lead you where there's no provision. You understand? He gives provision for the journey, and He's the one that will ensure our success once we stay faithful to Him.
You know what? Let me tell you something. I remember when I break in Jamaica. I was doing well in Jamaica in terms of among the youths. You know, 'cause we were right on the prodigal and those guys, me because the right time. Um, you know, I go so many places and the Lord will tell me that God called me for international ministry. There's so much prophecy we get virgin all over the world. In Jamaica, sorry, preaching from all over the world, come on, prophesy that my ministry that needs in Jamaica. And bro, I never know how. I never know how it was gonna happen. You know what I mean? I think I shared this testimony last week, and I'm gonna say that's the way I see it. Right? And I will be encouraging young artists. I was just focused on doing God. I mean, I was just so hungry for God and hungry for the word. And you know what I mean? I used to be in a ministry church called Soldiers of Christ, which is one feet deep on the road and stuff. Right? And I was just there, right?
Yeah.
I remember I was sitting down and this lady, she's my manager, right? She came and she was saying to me, you want just meet me there. What is talking under the tree in my Bible? It's just like way I say, I'm meeting basically, right? I remember I'm on the share in Bible and she came and we talk and she said, you want to come to Canada? And I ended up came to Canada to a tour, right?
Yeah.
That lady ended up become my wife and mom. You know what I mean? Exactly. But I'm not sure story, let me share something. She became my wife, and the international ministry I was looking for, it came through, right? Because I did the song, Can't Watch Time Ago. That's one of my biggest songs.
Yeah.
Yes, catch up for everything I know something, but it turned out that secular song that known.
Yeah.
Catch up, Can't Watch Time was big in Barbados. It was in the secular, just like your song.
Right.
It was huge in Barbados. I remember I went there and the government started using the song. They were forced to sort of, God, it's crazy. Right, but true, yeah. It's big like that, right? But the thing is, I came to Canada and I recorded that song. I remember I was coming to Canada and Danny got on the car and said, Jesus, remember my God, come quickly. And I went there on my way to the airport and I went there and I picked them up.
Yeah.
Right? And I went in there one day and I said, Can't Watch Time Alone. And I'm ready to Canada. Then the gift I said, yo, Jay, that is something record that's not good. Right? And I bring it here to Canada and I'm apart for like nearly 3-4 weeks. And while I'm doing my Canadian church tour, I'm just singing out of my song, right? And I made my mother-in-law hear it, right? And she heard the song, and I remember I was on stage singing, and they're singing, and she just stopped twice, and she said, no, they have a song in the church, right?
Yeah.
And, I did the song, and it just take over the church, but you can't watch like a demo, I did it, take over the church. They take that song, and they send out the demo. And no, seriously, the activists that went in us.
Yeah.
They said it was right to song. Never know how to promote it. It's the same thing for me. The international ministry that was on the side of my life. I was on the army. It came to a song that said, up to this day, the song of expertise.
Right.
The song of master. Can't watch life alone that the world love. He does not mix. He does not master. Right?
Yeah, man.
And the song that they released and it become a humongous hit worldwide. It's not saying we didn't put up nothing there in the video. I would never into the video because the song was already in. You know what I mean? So, everything is a master for me. Everything is, the gist by the body going internationally. That's bring with it. That's song, right? So, bro, when God ever called in your life, there's nothing you can do. You just have to just obviously just focus on that, focus on his will and his purpose, and the rest will come. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. So, bro, what you next? What you working at? What's your plan next?
Well, I was supposed to launch my fourth album this year in March, but then the coronavirus happened and just kind of take the world by storm. And I was still gonna put the album out, but I don't know, like the Lord like just arrested me, and I had this new song that just came on Sunday morning. I woke up and I said, yo, I can't have the album without this song, you know. And for weeks I've just been listening and waiting for the angels to sing some more words, you understand? And then that Sunday morning, everything just came together, and I was just like, thank you, Lord, you know. So right now, I'm just in the process of finishing up that one song. It's called Healing in the Valley. And that particular song, you know, it just took the album and took my whole life and my relationship with God to our next level. Is an understanding that sometimes we run from the valleys. You know, we don't want to have any bad experiences, but the truth is that is where the miracles are. You know, that is where deliverance happens. If there's no lions, then no miracle. No fiery furnace, no miracle. No prison, no miracle. No shackles, no miracle. You understand? And the Holy Spirit been dealing with me on that healing in the valley, understanding that there is a purpose for the valley. And if we always lived on the mountaintop, we wouldn't be strong. If it is that we always had everything handed to us, we wouldn't understand what it means to go through the going through, you know, to come out victorious. Sometimes we wouldn't even appreciate the journey because we didn't understand what it takes to get us there. You understand? So my album, the Lord like just put it on pause to make room for that particular song, and I believe, and I'm almost finished with it. So once I have that available, I'm gonna have my album up on iTunes and on Amazon, you know, either this month or next month. So I'm just trusting God. I know He always has a great plan, so His plan is better than mine all the time, you know. So yeah, man.
I want to ask you this question, bro. I don't know if it's out already or if it's on the album already, but the song out here.
Yeah, man, that's there.
Is that gonna be on the next
Yeah,
album?
yeah, yeah.
Bro, listen to me, man. Listen, my wife said they have a TV show called Video, okay?
Yeah.
And my wife actually said, obviously, that I told her, she said didn't respond, but I told her because I know you get so much message. I know you get so much message, and, you know, if you just send you a smart wife, then you don't respond, right?
Right.
Because she's a producer for the show, she and her mom, right? And
Oh, I remember email from Daystar, and we actually did respond. They were asking about an interview on the 11th, I believe, and we sent out the email, but we didn't see anything back, so we're just waiting.
oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to interview because, bro, listen to me. They had a show called Video Week. It is crazy. The show is amazing. They just started and it's amazing. And,
Right.
Then, you know, all the time, I want you to tell the people, special messenger.
Yeah, man.
Rotation station also. So please,
Yeah.
you tell the people, right?
Yes, I will.
This song, every day, every day. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can't go. No lie. Nice and ready. 20 times I hear this song, bro. She brings it. So, you know, she going to interview. She's going to listen for the interview. You know what I mean? So,
Yes, sir.
please, we're going to message you about let you know instead of my interview, all right?
Yeah, man.
Tell me, what kind of song you thought, Bridget? What? How you come with this song, Bridget? And really, who produced it?
Well, that was Barbaya Music. One day he called me, because he did a song for me by the name of Light Them Up, but he wasn't available to do the mix for a lengthy period of time, and it kind of caused my plans and stuff to be delayed for a long time, you know. So, because I just really was just believing for him to just finish, you know, finishing is some of the hardest things to do, bro. Just to finish. Yeah, man. So. Yeah. So he called me that day and he was like, yo, bro, I've been working on this and I wanted to just bless you with it. You understand? For everything that you've done, you know, you've been a blessing to me, and I just want to bless you with this video. No charge, nothing, I just have this piece of music here, and I just want you to just feature on it. And you know, whatever it is, if you want to put it on the album, no problem. But this is just a way of me saying I'm sorry for, you know, that lengthy time that I took, you understand? And I just want to bless you with this. And I was like, okay, bro, no problem. So then I I saw the message, I responded. I said, all right, 1 second, eh? Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, man. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah, right.
he reached out to me and he was like, he had his rhythm and stuff. And I said, okay, cool. And this is like 2 in the morning. So I said, all right, cool, let me just listen. So I came outside at about 2:30. The kids are sleeping, my wife is sleeping, and I just put on the headphones and I said, dong, 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 dong. I said, what is this? All right, okay, cool, cool. From the time the rhythm come in, I tell you what, I say, yo, brother. I say, yo, I said, nah. Honestly, I don't think I went to sleep that night, way. That was an infectious piece of music, way. So I just kind of like, wait, how am I gonna approach this rhythm, you know? And just as I was just there, something just started to speak within me like, hey, this is about being dressed out in the full armor of God. Put on the whole armor of God so that you may be strong, you understand? So you wouldn't be falling for the wiles of the enemy. So then I was just like, okay, the full armor of God, right? That is the foundation. That's the foundation of the song. Just putting on the full armor, put on the whole armor of God. You understand? Then we try to determine, all right, what armor are we gonna put on? Okay, the sword, okay, the helmet, the belt, the shield of faith. You understand? So we started to just get into the song, and I was like, oh, you know, see me with a rifle, they have me on ya, and I hear in the old school kicking out the and I said, yo, by the morning, by 6 a.m. that day, I had finished everything, bro. And then I went to bed. Yeah, well, I have a small setup, so I just put the ideas here, and then I just go to a real studio to execute it. You understand?
Yes.
But yo, why is that dangerous, man, boy?
No, man, worry about man. A big
Yeah,
legend.
man.
Every time I see more that tune, I'm like, yo, you step out of the box, Reggie.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's for sure so much out. So the album. How much track is gonna be on the project?
Right now, I'm at 15. I'm trying to get it down to 12.
All right, very hard.
Yeah, man. But
So you talk about what your plan for the album because I'm working on a project right now. Right? I'm not doing anything in terms. I mean, I know we can't sell CD, but in terms of where the market is going, what are your marketing strategy? I don't know if you want to share that, but what are you planning to do digitally or it's just how you plan to?
yeah, well, I mean, right now we are in a digital age, so we just had to make sure that we could represent digitally. Anybody that knows me, they know I am not a Facebooker, I'm not an Instagrammer, I am hardly here. You understand? I just pop up every once in a while when my wife says, hey, post a picture today, please, sir. I was like, okay, no problem. You understand? So left up to me, I mean, I'm just enjoying my life, you know. Yeah, man. So it's a hard thing for me, you know, that social media thing. But I mean, I just understand that that is part of being relevant. And if it is that I have to use wisdom, then it's important that I have something available virtually so that people in Asia could actually log in and be a part of the ministry. So we can't be receiving a word saying that the Lord wants to open a door in Spain and in France and in Japan and in Australia and all these places, and we refuse to tap into the technology that's going to get us there. You understand? So it's important to just be relevant in every platform.
Exactly. I see with me because you know what? To be honest with you, my wife right starts because bro, I'm not a social media guy, no lie. Like me too start to say away from the video. Like if you realize no one does it, don't do it because like I don't know to perform in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Um, I started this in the world virtual thing lockdown and what see you gotta connect with the fans and stuff like that. I mean, but we have to and I fully totally understand what you're saying, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This. So I want to talk to you about something, right? I want to know what you want to say to our youth right now out there. You know what I mean? You know, the life, like y'all been there, bro. You could have given up. Yes, you grew in the church.
Yeah, man.
The church, and that's a blessing, but you know what I mean? You still could have turned the other way, right? And after all you have been through, lost your mom, lost your sister, right? And coming from my impoverished life, because I know that's where I'm coming from. I'm coming from my impoverished life, right?
Yeah.
And I know it's deep, right? I met my father the first time at 25.
Wow.
Say to you,
Yeah.
exactly. So, you know, I don't want to share my testimony, but I'm coming from the life. Man, it's the grace of God why I didn't turn the other way.
Yes, sir.
So, what can I say to a youth right now, bro? What in that is going through that, and you know, maybe, you know, thinking out that, I think that, you know, what life, when life gonna take them, should just give up. You know, I mean, what can I say to encourage a man to keep going? You know, I mean, change your route if you're going to the other way. You know, I mean, that Jesus Christ is Lord. What can I say to somebody right now, bro?
I guess for every young person locked on, the message will remain the same. We have to understand that Jesus is real. You understand? It's not something in fiction that our parents or grandparents used to talk about. It's a personal experience. And if it is that we could latch on to the fact that God is real, the Holy Spirit is real, if it is that you take the time out to seek Him, then you could audibly hear him, you understand? You could feel him in your movements when the day comes, you understand? So it's a real experience. You know, a lot of people look for that big brother feel, or they look for somebody that could inspire them in some sort of way. I'm saying if it is that you could just totally just lean and depend on God, it will begin to change your life. And one thing that I always tell people is that our lives are a series of choices that we make. It's our choices that are going to cause us to either go high or go low. You understand? I grew up in a neighborhood, and there were other young men in that neighborhood who made a different choice. They didn't choose to be in the church as I did. And they died for today, you know, whether one by shooting, whether I just getting into a gunfight, they tried to rob somebody and the person was armed and you understand, took them out. And it's just understanding that, listen, if it is that I could choose my destiny, then that means it's important for me to know the person that created me in the first place and to know what my life is gonna entail. You understand? So if it is that you're a young person locked on, God is real, and your life is going to be determined by the choices that you make. So choose wisely.
Positive. How do you? Yeah, that's well said, man. Well said, bro. How do you manage? Let's start with the family. Because I know you're a family man. I can see how it's, especially the wife, beautiful wife, and I know you have how much kids you have? One or two?
Two.
Two. Yeah. Yeah, man. So let's start. We can't come on with the talk. And the families, you know, start first and the family second, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. How long you mind, bro? And how do you manage ministry and family, and you know, and being a father and something like that? Explain it to me.
Yeah, man. Well, everything has been new, you know. Everything has been new. You're learning every single day. One time, I met my wife. This was in probably the year. Well, I didn't want to call her yet and say, no, I called you wrong yet. But yeah, but I know for sure that we're married 6 years, you understand? So we would have been dating for about a year and a half or 2 years before that, you know. So, but she's the right person for me. I believe that she was handpicked by God for me, you know, because she completes my life in so many different ways. Even though I know that I'm a whole person and she's a whole person, but there's just something that pulls us together, that allows us to have a unified purpose, even as two different individuals coming from different backgrounds, coming from different life experiences. And when I was able to get married to this individual, you know, the Lord.
Sorry to cut you, bro. Sorry to cut you. Instagram is giving us a rundown. We have 60 minutes.
Oh
Listen
wow.
to me. A whole bunch of people send comments. So listen, we're gonna go on back to half an hour. Right. So if it ends, you can come on back, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, because we want to answer some.
Yo.
Yes, 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 Jenna, Jenna. So, listen to me. I want to be doing, and this because I'm prodigal or any life I'm going to go on again because there's so much to it. So, anyway, yes, so you was explaining how you maintain the family ministry and being a father at the same time. You
Ah,
mentioned wife and stuff like that. I really want to hear, man.
yeah, man. So I got married to my wife, and I just kind of understood from the world's perspective that my wife, and my family, they come first. They're my priority, So I kind of try to pattern ministry around maintaining a good household, a well balanced household, where I could be present, because I believe that your presence is of utmost importance in your family. I believe that I want my son to see me as his first real example. That's how a man should be. I want my daughter to see me as the first real example with how she should be treated by her next guy. You understand? So I just wanted to be home, be present. So ministry has always, and I have an understanding wife. You understand? That's really important. So
So
she
she understands
understands ministry,
ministry
and
and
she has supported me for all the years, and we have a kind of a well-oiled little system that we work out. A lot of the times my family accompanies me when we go to minister in different places when they can, and if I'm going Saturday night, I'm back Sunday morning sometimes. So it's just important. I mean, you put God first, then you put your family right after that, and then everything just work itself out. You know.
So, how you enjoying being father with them? How you enjoying it? I'm sorry, how old is your kids?
Why? My daughter is 4 years old, and my son, he's gonna be 2 years old in October.
Yes.
Fatherhood is the hardest thing ever. Yo, bro, my son, he stands by the stove, and I just sit. One time I was just watching TV, and he was just walking around the living room, and he walks into the kitchen, and I'm just hearing. It's because he pulled down the stove, stand on the he stood on the door to open, and he just there. I said, bro, yo, one time, and he's a sneaky little human too. So he he had a hairpin, like a hair clip. I don't know why. I probably left it somewhere around the counter, and we are all there talking, and he stands in front of the socket, and but we didn't expect anything because his hands look empty. So he's just standing there, and then as soon as we turn the other direction, he turns around and takes the hairpin and push it in the socket, and then it sparked up. And I'm turning around, I grab him. I'm like, yo, it's just like it's like you have to just be watching these children 24/7 because if they're not careful, they will just run out of the house and run down in a drain or something, boy. So it's just, Father, it's hard work, but it's hard work. Hard work, hard work, hard work.
Yes, it does.
It's hard work.
Honestly, to be honest, my wife mostly take care mostly the kids, and honestly, I mean, I work, right? I work in Canada, and Reggie, it's hard. It's really hard. But, honestly, it's the best thing, man. I mean, it's the best life, you have your kids, and, especially I know they're coming from without a father, like, and
Yeah, man.
you can try to give them what you never have, it's the best
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
ever.
yeah.
Not saying, and stuff like that. But what I want to ask you this, before you go, before we jump off into some question I want to ask you, people say, what legacy do you want to remember by?
Oh yeah. Well, I want to be known for a couple of things actually, you know. I want people to remember never letting go, never giving up, even when the odds were stacked against you, understanding that God is with the underdog most of the time. You understand? He's just there. He's a present help in the time of trouble. I want people to remember that my music inspired people to keep pursuing their dreams, to keep pursuing purpose, to keep pursuing vision, to keep chasing after the things of God. I want people to remember my music by just being something that could uplift their spirit, you know, something that could cause them to move forward in their own personal journey. But one thing that has been significant to me is that the purpose that God gave me and the vision, He said to write it, make it plain, right? So I wrote the vision down one day as I felt in my heart, and it was to impact, to positively impact the nations of the world by sharing the heart of God through character, through music, and through lifestyle. So that has been my vision for my ministry for the last 14 to 15 years. And to this day, I could see that my lifestyle and my character has been able to even be an influence as great as the music has been. You understand? So if I never sing another song, or people didn't know me as a gospel minister or artist or whatever you call it, they could just look at my life and be inspired. You understand? They could look at my life, they could look at the choices that I've made and be inspired and to know that hey, this is a man after God's own heart, you know. So that has been the legacy that I want to leave.
All right, good, well said, bro. As you done this part, I remember somebody wrote, they were asking some questions. I remember this because it's a lot of the questions that are on the like of them, but somebody was asking, if I don't know, you can explain it, right? Because I could, but you can explain it. Wasn't they were asking, how do you, if the Bible, what the Bible mean when it say, you can't drink and you can't, like, just, you can't drink and get drunk and have girls and, you can't explain that to me. I don't.
Well, for many years,
What about, I don't know what the Bible mean, but there is kind of, I know that first we're trying to understand what it was saying, right? You can't drink, you can't smoke, what the Bible means. So break it down for them, um, what it means.
well, I guess the word is basically saying, you know, don't be consumed with strong drink to the point where you cannot walk in the principles of God. You know, it's more focusing on the consequence of doing something that is in excess that will push you further away from God. So I believe that the Bible is trying to focus us on making choices that would be allowing us to move closer in God's direction. You understand? So
Yes.
don't be consumed with strong drink. You know, if God turned water into wine, then why would I say that, you know, wine is of the devil? You understand?
Yeah, true,
You
true.
understand? But there is a
Yes.
place where even if wine is something that God could physically do, you understand? It shouldn't be the end all and be all. You understand? It's important to
Yes.
know that there's limit and there's just a understanding that serving God will mean that you even might have to forsake that. You know, it's our point. You understand? So that's what I gather from the word.
Yes, and exactly so. Because I would have, yeah, the Bible not confront with you drinking. But what I mean, for those who can, because as Paul said, if somebody, if it's gonna offend a brother
Yeah.
by you eating pork or you drinking, for instance, somebody comes out to alcoholism, and then they're alcohol, and they're gonna, if you're gonna drink a beer and it's gonna affect a brother, to go back and to become an alcoholic again, don't do it. You know what I'm saying to you? If you're gonna eat some meat, if you're gonna eat meat, and if you're gonna offend a brother, don't do it. So Paul was saying that. So the same, if but God is saying that this is the first. One, don't drink too much liquor, so you're gonna get drunk and end up sin. Two, nothing is wrong with having a beer if you can manage it, right? I wouldn't tell you to drink a beer and drive. Or if you're gonna drink a beer, sit down, make sure you sit at least an hour or 2 hours before. You know what I mean? Something like that. But nothing wrong. Because I sit down and I drink a beer, and I drink a beer, and I don't drink like a jump because I know this is a sin. So, you know what I mean? Straight up, Reggie.
Yeah, I guess for me, like alcohol and wine and beer and that kind of thing has never been something that I was drawn to. You know, I was always thought to always be thinking on the sober side of things. You know, so every time, you know, when they say some people just try to live so close to the edge. You understand? I just feel like I want to live as far from the edge as possible. You know, so if it is that, you know, alcohol, sometimes maybe one sip of a beer might cause a man to be peeing in the road. You understand? Then, you know, for me, it's just better to refrain. You understand? And that is,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. Somebody's asking here again also, who are your favorite artists? I don't know. They're asking again, who are your favorite artists? I know this is secular gospel. I don't know.
Say again?
Yeah. Do you hear me?
Say it again.
Yeah. Somebody's asking, who are your favorite artists? Like, who do you like? Who inspire you? Someone is asking that.
Oh, well, I definitely like Papa San for sure. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I love every Caribbean artist because I believe that all of us have something unique. You know, when you sing Catch a Fire, you sing My Father is a Millionaire. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
everybody just has some kind of unique piece that they bring to the table, and each of it just fit nice into a whole genre for Caribbean gospel music. So I love every single Caribbean artist. Their style is different and it's versatile. It brings a whole variety. You know, if it is you want your callaloo here, you know, if you want your piece here, it just make this Sunday lunch nice. You understand? I also love real artists, people who kind of sing about the truth. They don't shy away from declaring that Jesus is King of Kings and Lord of Lords. I just love people who are real and honest and genuine. At least the ones that I could tell from the music or from their ministry or testimony. So I just looked into things that are pure. All these things, think on these things that are good reports. Any artist have a good report I did.
Exactly. People are shouting out from Kenya. Somebody are shouting from Kenya. I said, big up positive and just
Big
awesome
up
music.
Kenya, big up.
Yeah, man. They ask you if you sing something, I don't know, after we ask you one more question and then, you don't know, you want to drop something new or something for the album.
Yeah,
You
man.
know what I mean? And stuff like that. And so, also, who do you really want to do a collaboration with before you leave this earth?
Before I leave this earth,
Yes.
it's a hard question, boy.
Who?
That's a hard question.
Somebody asked that. Listen, Tony from Tony from England.
Yeah, 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 Tony Thompson, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
You want to look at it, right?
Hmm. Who I'd want to do a collaboration with? I feel at this present time, boy, maybe Torren Wells.
Who?
Torren Wells.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did a song called Hills and Valleys. He did a song with Elevation Worship called Not Lost, Never Lost or something like that. Never Lost a Battle. So it's just something fresh, something different, something new, and I'm all about a new experience, you know?
Exactly. You have collab with most of the Caribbean artists already.
Yeah.
So many artists. So of course, for me, I tell you what, let me answer that before anybody asks me. I've done collab with most people already, but my vision and my dream and my version still goes on with Kirk Franklin.
Right, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Kirk is my boy. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what he's been doing since lately, but Kirk, I just love his style of the way right, and stuff like that. So I would love to do, and fuck, I have a dream that I was doing something with him, right? So I don't know if God is going to come to pass.
Yeah, man. I guess he'll be a top on every Caribbean artist mind, you understand? Because he is one of the
It's not because I tell you this. It's not because of popularity, really, but Virgin Kirk Franklin, I think, you know, I think in terms of writing, this guy is just in another level, man.
right.
You know what I mean? He's writing, bro. If you listen to stuff about him, this guy, God was on his pen when he was writing. I don't know no, confidence you. I don't, I'm stuck on something. Right now I'm listening to Micah Sampley. I'm going back. Yeah, way back.
Yeah.
He's my boy right now, so I'm listening to Micah, right? But Virgin, there's so much, man. I really appreciate you being here. Even when you sing something, I do want to jump from the line, but when I new tune them or something old or whatever you want to do, before cut off, you see.
Right. Let me see what we have there, boy. Should be turn on the music and thing.
Yeah, man. Anything that let's talk about something. Yo, you see now gonna be the my true destiny.
Are there anyone on YouTube yet? All right, let's see. Yeah, man.
Them said the grass would be up on the other side. But a lie. Never would I change my side. We never return.
Yeah. See, my mind's made up for Christ, and I saw it to stay. Me never could have changed my mind. See, my father is the most I got, so nobody try waste my time. If I know God, you know me not tweet. Never could have changed my mind. Me say me not tweet, me can't do it. And everyone has to make their choice. I'd rather Jesus every time. So watch out for them, holy lie. Them a give you Jezebel with a Esther smile. Oh my, tell me what me I gonna do if me not trust the one who breathes breath in me heart. But like the Hebrew boys, we not bow. Even when the road's not easy, he's the one thing that I'm sure of. Me never could have changed my mind. See, my father is the most high God, so nobody try to waste my time. If I not God, you know me not do it. Yeah, man. Listen. Yo, everybody try to run down the things that is rolling on Jason boy, but I tell you, it's Jesus and Jesus alone, brother. Yo. I feel like my favorite song right now, yes, yo. Getting back to the archives right now. Listen, reggae music, yeah. I'm not a Jamaican, but I know it's supposed to song, right? Rolling in my two-man army. See my Jesus and you see, I know, yo, we are full of stuff right now. Again, yo. Instagram, how you feeling right now? This is yours truly positive. Featuring Jason Mighty. Just let me sing this one again, yeah. Rolling in my two-man army. See my Jesus and you see, I know once God goes before way, they can't stop this right, boy. Somebody say my Jesus and I. You see, I know once God goes before way, I got to strap on this kitty and boots, y'all. I know we're ready for the war. And Satan, him want take we be cool, yeah. But me and Jesus apart. I feel defend this truth. Stand spiritually sound, so me can't. I say we gotta stay pure. Just make your election sure. Help me sing again, yeah. Somebody say it's my Jesus and you see, I know once God goes before me, yeah, they can't stop this right, boy. Somebody say it's my Jesus and you see, I know once God goes before me, yeah. Yes, right. Once God goes before you, I don't care where your situation is, they cannot stop that right. I say, listen, with Jesus in the vessel. Yeah, man, let me look for some out here, man. Get it, people. All right, let me find it there for you, bro. Let me find it. Let me find it. I ain't been on this thing in a while, man. Tune after tune after tune. Why am I try to find this thing? Let me find it. Let me pull it up now. Jason, you have some Holy Ghost brought me down. Yeah, man, we inside right now. Yo, out there disappear from the computer, I wouldn't lie. Let me see if I find it. Ready or not? Ready or not? Listen right now. Ready or not, so we come here to shine. We still walk with the Savior every time. I say we out here. We shop up in a 6-piece armor and boots and ready to roll. Yeah, watch me now, yeah. You know, see me with the rifle there, me hand, yeah. Almighty God in my mind. Oh, out here, what you doing to me? Oh, it's the Baba, you know. Ready or not? Are you still here? Are you ready to roll? Sing it out. Ready or not? So we come here to shine. We still work with the Savior. And we say every time, yo, say we out here. Strap up in a 6-piece armor and boots and ready to roll. Watch me now. You know, see me with a rifle there, me and ya. Almighty God in my mind. Cover me, Lord, from the evil one, yeah. We no big Corona. We just give them more lyrics and show that we so. With a blessing up all the way. Me say nobody try this week. Our angels over way. Ready or not, say we come here to shine. We still walk with the Savior. We still walk with the Savior, yo. So we out here. Strap up in a 6-piece armor and boots and ready to roll. Yeah, like soldier to a general. My God, we salute you. If I know you, when you tell me go on, so well, you know, say me not go move. Say my feet say in my place, pan the rock and me not stop follow the one whose name is Yeshua. Me can't serve for another God. Me can't serve for another. Watch me now, out here like Daniel. The lion mouth gets shut and all haters a stand still. And we out here like Joseph. They put me down in the pit, the king's palace still await us. And we out here like Gideon. How them figure with 300 and still we a slave man. Out here. I make them know and say we out here. Yeah, man. Yo. Yo, it has some people. Yo, there was just the one time, Jason, but a man called me from Jamaica. He said, yo, you have a song that says, I never let go. And your song like Egyptian. He said, but I'm telling you that I could take you to places that you can't be as a gospel artist. And he started to call some countries that he said he worked with Beanie and Bounty and Buju. And he could tell me that if it is, I could take out the Jesus out of my song and let the Jah alone remain. He said, yo, you're going to go global, you're going to go international. But you have to let these people know where to get off, Jason Mighty, understand? I tell them, I say, yo, youth man, saddle up your things and go on, because a long time he wants you come out here, because positive belongs to Jesus. I said he promised to receive us. I me say saddle up your things and go on, Satan. We don't want you around. I said I'm called out now by Jason Mighty. And the fire me say good vibes you bring, sir. Yeah, all right then, yo. Yo, people are know to get off by. When we serve Jesus, we mean Jesus 100% and not halfway. I know halfway thing this are the realest thing this. Yeah, man. Until that. Yeah, man. Right, right. Yeah, yo, Ahmad, somebody asked me a question. They were like, positive. Do you think that your songs make it on God's playlist? And you know, this was many years ago, and I had to just sit back, you understand, and really internalize the question, you understand. He's just randomly asking, you understand, and yeah, something that stuck with me, and I just realized that you know this world is just temporary, bro. You know, this flesh and this blood is just temporary, and if we had to base our decisions on trying to make the next hit, then we'll eventually fail. And even if we think we succeed, we'll fail in the end. You understand? So I think it's important to please God in every step of the way, in everything that we do, everything that we put our hands to do. It must be because you know we are led by the Spirit of God. They say we are the sons of God being led by the Spirit of God. So we have to be humble and just living at his feet, you know what I mean? So I always say, God, you know, I just always have a sober mind. I just want you to forgive me if it is I didn't hear you clearly enough. You understand? I want to make sure when I write, when I sing songs, it is truly coming from a place of wanting you to get the glory and not for me to trend in any way that takes away. You understand? Because he said he wants to share his glory with no man. So sometimes when you see you have a successful song and you start to figure it's me. Is I write that? You understand? Then you realize no more successful songs come your way. You understand? Yeah, yeah. So right, Right. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah, man. I think you see the truth is the word says we overcome by the testimony as well. You understand? So when it is, sometimes I was showing my wife and I pull. There's this song that's rotating in my house constantly, 24/7. It's called "Promises" by Maverick City, featuring Naomi. Listen, this song says, "Great is your faithfulness towards me." You understand? And I look through the comments, and I'm talking about thousands, probably 10,000 comments for that. You understand? It's probably so much by now. And I'm looking through, and when I see the testimonies that are coming forth, you understand? That just kind of just stirs up a kind of faith, a kind of yeah, peace, a kind of satisfaction, because it's like people walking away from the music and with a testimony. Understand? When I looked at Never Let Go and I looked at Mighty Healer and I looked at the comment section, people were fighting with cancer and fighting with diabetes and fighting with so much different diseases, and they had this song playing in the hospitals and playing at the bedside. People been taking the chemotherapy and taking Mighty Healer. They're taking the pressure tablet and taking in Mighty Healer. They're taking wherever, you understand? So it's like people just, they just kind of leave it all sometimes in the comments, and even sometimes those who don't comment, you just you just you're feeling, you understand? Sometimes I'm walking through the streets and people just come to me, and like an old lady grabbed me by my hand one time and she was like, "Young man, listen, I don't know what came over you to write that song, Mighty Healer, but that song brought me through. That song brought me through," and tears coming down my eyes, bro. So these testimonies sometimes they last longer, they leave a more long lasting impression even than radio airplay sometimes, bro. You understand? So just to see that the music blessing people, boy, I feel like that is a reward by itself, boy. Yeah, man. It's expensive. Yeah. Yo, you're preaching to the choir there, bro. You're preaching to the choir. Listen, one time I was on my knees, bro, and I prayed and I said, Lord, something about it I feel like a burden when it had to deal with the finances of ministry, you understand? And it's like I try to escape it a lot of the times, try to figure out, well, a lot of times I would, when people ask, what it costs, like, just be generous to us is fine, And one time I took the whole band to a different country and the pastor, he just says, you just bless us, you understand? And it's like, they could come a time where they just hand you maybe 500 US and, you can't even feed the van with 500 US. But I just saying, and it's like, you're thinking to yourself, you know what? God is just going to just open a door. Even if this particular destination is not that door, we just have to come out here and be a blessing and be what God wants us to be in this part for these people, because they came out here. They came out. The event had like about 3,000 people, and they came out just to be blessed. You understand? And then the Lord will open up a different avenue and cause a tremendous blessing to come from a different area. One time, a pastor brought me to New York, me and the entire band, because he wanted us to minister to his youth group, which was just 40 persons. Understand me, right? Understand the vision. The man brought me and my entire band to New York for 40 young people. 40. 40. Right? 40. And I probably brought like five. Right. So he is paying for flights and hotel and all these different things because he just understood that there was something in my ministry that he wanted to be brought across to his church to be able to be a blessing there. So it's just like, I said, God, I don't want to go the traditional way. Your prophet Isaiah said, behold, I am going to do a new thing. So I want everything that concerns me to just be new, God. I don't want to go the regular channel. If it is you are God and you are God of the new and you could do something new, then I want my story to be something different from everybody else. If you could do something new, then that means you could do something new for one person out of the 7 billion, and you could do something new 7 billion times. You understand? So I said, okay, if it is that it's not the regular way of airplay, then let it be from some supernatural way. You understand? So it's just like, I'm just continuously trying to challenge God based on the word. You understand? Based on what he said in the word. He's going to make our borders. He's going to cause us to broaden our tents. You understand? So if he's given us all these words to make room, you understand? To make room. To make room for what? You understand? It means that he has some sort of wealth or some sort of abundance that he wants to bless us with. And I pray that I receive that in this lifetime. And even if I don't, I'm going to die in faith, believing. Because in Hebrews, they talk about the men who had faith and they didn't even see the promised land, but they died believing that they would receive it. You understand? So it's about a faith walk. And I just condition my mind to recognize that, listen, once I'm serving Christ, I'm not going to be the ordinary person. You understand? So I'm going to be somebody that is different, somebody that views things differently. So I'm just going to go based on what the word says. So if it is that God instructed me to do this, I want to do this. If I don't see a financial reward from it, no problem. Because he might instruct me to do something of less work and receive hundredfold, even for the things that I thought was lost. You understand? So God is a unique God and he does things in a unique way, bro. So never fear. Somebody asked her, what about when the mark of the beast come? Right. Yep. No. Because what I learned this too. My aunt, she was kind of, we were just having a conversation sometime, and I was just like, auntie, sometimes the money that we receive is not for ourselves, you know. So God wants to use us as a vehicle sometimes to pass wealth through. But we get sidetracked when the wealth comes and we try to retain everything that doesn't belong to us. And then we realize it starts to slip out of our hands. We see it start to manifest itself in your vehicle giving problems or your body start to give problems. You understand? And that same money that you've been harnessing, you understand, it end up being a curse upon your life. You understand? So sometimes it's understanding. My key thing is what? I was in New York, bro. And a pastor, he came to me and he called me out from, I was just sitting in the crowd hiding, just taking in the word like a normal guy there. And the man pulled me out from a crowd and he said, yo, the Lord is speaking to him right now concerning me. And he started to prophesy over my life. And his words to me was, God told me to let you know that he could trust you. And you see that, boy? I didn't care where he talk about Asia or France or Japan or Germany, but you see those lines, you understand? That you could earn God's trust. It means that he could trust. Once he could trust you, that means he knows how to navigate things through you. You understand? He knows how to send you. He could trust you with his word. He could trust you with songs. He could trust you because he know that the type of person that you are, you understand? You will produce, you will reproduce. So when he give you seed, you wouldn't eat it. You will know how to sow it so that when it comes time, the entire household, the entire community, the entire nation, the entire world could eat from the fruit. You understand? It wouldn't be, coming through you as a seed. It will be you planting it. You understand? Too much time we try to eat seed. Seed is not for eating. Seed is for planting. You understand? Yeah, man. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Young man, be careful out there, you understand? These Jezebels, they have a Esther smiling now, you understand? But tell them we not do it. Yeah, bro. Yeah, man. Bless.